Season 2 of the Pat and JT podcast.
Oh man, I'm here at last. The best time, always gonna be the best. Come on!
Exclusively on the Hurrdat Media Network.
So we figured that we needed a fact checker today. Nick is in with us.
Hello,
today.
everyone.
Fingers firmly on home row,
Yes.
ready to go.
Mr. Rowe, my high school keyboarding teacher, would be so proud.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What was his name? Mr. Rowe?
Mr. Rowe. He would always, he had a short temper and would like scream very quickly.
I would think keyboarding teachers would be just always on the edge of murdering somebody.
He definitely,
Yeah.
he definitely was. Was like
What do you
a cool,
think was his biggest trigger?
biggest trigger? For sure, if you weren't doing the keyboarding thing. Like if you had like a window
Like if
open
you're
on
pecking,
Facebook.
chicken pecking, or what?
Oh yeah, chicken pecking or like playing a video game.
Oh,
when you were,
I see.
Yeah, that would set him off.
Oh, yeah.
And he was the type of like, his voice would carry down the hallway, so you would know like 3 classrooms down if someone was getting in trouble in keyboarding class.
Sweet.
Yeah, yes.
Right.
It was
Right.
interesting.
I wonder how it ends up that a teacher becomes the typing and or now keyboarding teacher. It's not like something you go to school for. You know, it's not something you apply for.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you get to be this teacher, but along with that, you have to teach this class.
Yeah, it's punishment.
Right?
I think it's punishment from the year before. Like if they did something wrong, then like next year, Randy, you're doing keyboards all year.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it, man.
Yeah. I couldn't. Emmy, who's been on the show, is a high school teacher, and all the time, just like high school kids are d-bags.
Oh, they're
they're
just
a-holes.
they're
Yeah.
a-holes.
Yes.
That's what they have to be.
Straight up.
They have to go through that a-hole stage. I think that's like part of. I never was an asshole. I just
Oh,
never
really?
was. I wasn't a. My parents were very lucky. Very
Yeah.
lucky.
I'd have to say your mother might disagree.
Well, there were varying degrees of my a-holeness.
Okay.
It was never mean-spirited a-holeness. It was just being an a-hole, like holding my mom down and dragging worms across her face, my brother and I.
Oh,
And that's
your
kind of
mom?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, take back the no a-hole.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah. That's still one of the funniest moments of my life, though. She hates worms, so we thought it'd be fun. And
Oh.
yeah,
How old were you when you did that?
34. No, I'm just kidding. Oh gosh, I was probably 12. My brother was 8 or 14 and 10 or something like
my-
that.
Is your mom a pretty like small person?
little
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, she's a pretty small person.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway, it was
Yeah.
fun because watching her scream, but not opening her mouth because we had the worms like close to her mouth because they would have gone in had she screamed. My poor mom.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got all kinds of stuff to get to. The first thing, though, I'm just going to start with this because we've got a bunch of emails and texts and things we want to get to, too. And we'll spend a little more time on that. But did you see Chrissy Teigen is back on Twitter? And I don't know if you knew that she went away for a while because she got pissed off at everybody. And so she decided to close everything down and she was gone. And she came back, but she came back and she ran into another wall of outrage because apparently it has come out that about 10 years ago, she was dragging on Courtney Stodden. Now, you remember Courtney Stodden at the time was getting married to Doug What's-His-Bucket from Lost?
Yeah, right.
And he was
she was 16 and he was it was bad. It was rough.
Okay, I don't remember this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll show you.
You look up Courtney Stodden, Stodden is her last name. But Courtney has gone through, I mean, trust me, her mother gave her permission to marry the 51-year-old. Let's go. But anyway, at the time, Chrissy was regularly tweeting out things encouraging her to kill herself.
Oh my gosh,
And-
that's terrible.
Yeah. And saying things like, dirt nap or my favorite dream, wake up and you're sleeping, and something she even Stodden said she even would DM her and tell her to kill herself.
What evil.
To Chrissy Teigen?
No, Chrissy
Yeah,
Teigen.
no, Chrissy was. Yeah,
Yeah, it was Chrissy to Stodden.
Oh, Chrissy was saying this?
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
yeah,
Right?
and it was this awful stuff that she would tweet to her, and then Chrissy blocked Courtney, and Courtney, of course, has a screenshot of that because she tried to respond to her. And anyway, this went on for quite some time, and apparently now Chrissy has put out an apology and started it off with, I was an insecure, attention-seeking troll. I like how she says was. Anyway, anyway, and she admits to all these tweets that she sent to Stodden.
Wow.
Sadly, that wasn't the only person she did this to. She also did this to Lindsay Lohan. Said something about every time Emma Stone does, has some kind of success or whatever she said, but basically adds another scar on her wrist.
Oh my gosh.
What?
And she went after Joaquin Phoenix as well about his mental health back when he won his Oscar, I think it was. Yeah.
So how old
there's
would
a
Chrissy
bunch of
Teigen have been then? Like at how old was she?
26, 27.
I mean, I get, I'm not excusing anything, but like you're 14, 15, and you're making comments like that. That could be like figuring stuff out and attention seeking.
Yeah.
When you're 26, when you're in mid 20s, you're getting close to 30. You can't say, I apologize, I was at attention seeking, blah, blah, blah. You're an adult.
And even when you're 15, it's inappropriate.
100%.
Yeah, yes.
But like you can excuse it away a little bit. Like, okay, here's,
Yeah.
you don't ever do that. That's evil.
Yeah.
But when you're an adult, it's like,
Yes.
you are just evil.
And Chrissy's gone through her own thing in the last 18 months with like her pregnancy, and then she lost the baby, and that was been a whole very publicly sad thing for her. So disappointing to hear she's throwing
Very
stones.
disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was going to say, by the way, too, she caught a lot of blowback for posting the way she posted when she lost her baby. Remember that there was a picture that she posted of her sitting on the exam table with her head in her hand, and I think John was in the foreground. So there was a photographer. Somebody took that picture.
Right. Yeah, I remember
And that's what she posted. And a lot of people are like, there was everything from, I don't believe you, this is entirely staged, to really cool to have a photographer on hand to catch the moment kind of thing. So she caught a lot, and that was when she basically went away.
Gotcha.
She was like, okay, I'm done. But she's back. Yeah. So anyway, so that was making all kinds of headlines. And then the news came out that she was going to lose some of her endorsements because she has Target and Macy's.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she did lose Target, but Macy's, her items are called cravings. They're like dinnerware.
Yeah.
Which are really kind of nice. I mean, if you don't mind having, it says cravings. It doesn't say Tegan on it. But everything is like
crazy liberals dishes in your house. I know that's what was going through Jill's head.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to have a Tegan on it. I don't want to. But it's funny is that I looked at it yesterday. Everything was on sale. And today, none of it is.
Oh.
And I don't know if I'm looking at the prices now, but Macy's still has her stuff on here. But the rumor was, because that's basically how she makes her money.
So I wonder if they knew that she was making news, so they put everything on sale, so people are going to be searching her name a lot. So maybe they'd move some products. Right? Yeah.
Keep it up because they were, let's get a deal, before it all goes away, and now it's not going anywhere.
Wow, what a dirtbag, man.
So, yeah, but it was really awful. It really was. I was reading it. I was like, you got to be kidding me. This is, and it's a lengthy apology.
Yeah.
And she did it that way. She said she did it publicly because she had shamed her publicly. And she said, so I'm going to put this out there. She also took the opportunity to say, nobody's had their life, I can't remember, living it publicly or something about everything scrutinized like she does or whatever. But it's like, but you keep tweeting.
Right.
I'm like,
stop tweeting.
Yeah.
So there was that story yesterday. That's fun. And then the other story that came out also just came out was the one about Colton Underwood, franchise star from The Bachelor, who came out as gay last month. And now they're saying the reason why he's saying the reason they did is because of blackmail there was a blackmail.
Like what?
Because he visited a spa that caters to a certain clientele. And somebody got a hold of him and said, hey, I have a new picture of you at the spa. And so he was being blackmailed, and so he decided just to put an end to it and come out.
Oh, well, good for him.
Which I think that's really brave. I really do. I mean, because obviously he was in a really difficult situation because he's sitting there on The Bachelor and had all the opportunities coming his way because of it. And he wouldn't have probably had to have done what he did. But because of the blackmail, he chose to just like, you know what, let's just end this right now because he's not going to be held down by.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
It's too bad he couldn't make his come out when he wanted to and in his own timing.
Yeah.
But if you're at a spa,
I know.
and a new hey, I have a new picture of you from the spa. It's like, what? shouldn't you figure out why the spa's taking nude pictures? Like I would think I'd go to the manager first.
The spa didn't call him. There was somebody that was there. You know what I mean? Somebody saw him. And knew who he was. So this was during filming of The Bachelor.
Okay. Oh, during filming of The Bachelor. Got it.
It appears to be because that's why they knew who he was.
Got it.
And they took his picture there. And obviously it's not just like he was undressed in the locker room. You know what I mean?
Right.
Kind of naked picture. So I'm just saying. But anyway.
Yeah. It's obvious that there wasn't massaging going on. Yeah.
Yeah. The BuzzFeed headline has calls it a gay spa, so it's definitely like
that's the
Okay. Yeah.
Definitely caters to a certain clientele. Definitely. So anywho, so there was that. Those are the two stories that I came across. Other than that, I've got emails, text messages, wherever you want to start.
I got these. You could text us at 402-403-9478. This one is from LJ. She said, I fully support 5 days a week podcasting. If you have to skip a few days, just do it like the other podcasts do and say you're on a hiatus. So this one is for you from Rhonda. She wants to know if Jack has ever been to the dog bar.
He hasn't yet.
I didn't know that was
he hasn't yet.
A dog bar?
Is
that
like
a dog park?
Or can you go to the bar and take your dog to the bar, or is it like they serve dog beer?
There is a dog bar, where people go drink in their dog's life.
Okay. Okay.
And there's also one that's being built. But the Omaha Dog Bar, they call it a watering hole for dogs and their people.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. You need to go.
There's one on South 15th Street. I've never taken him to a dog park. I've always taken him doggy daycare. The reason why is because I like the supervision. Because it's not just a bunch of owners standing around claiming my dog didn't start it.
Right.
It's people actually watching
the important thing is that Jack would probably end it. If a dog started it with him, Jack would probably do it. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Jill. Yeah, I've been in a few situations where dogs are fighting, and even when a dog ends it, it's not a fun situation.
No.
Yeah.
It's scary.
So,
yeah.
I don't know if you knew this, Nick, but at doggy daycare, Jack has been written up once or twice.
Oh.
And actually, I think once, wasn't it? Was it just once?
No, I think it was once or twice. And that didn't like he get like a report card, and it was the thing that was checked off that he did wrong, and one of the things was humping. And he wasn't, but he wasn't humping. It wasn't.
That was one of the options.
Oh, no, I know. That was one of the options. That wasn't what he was doing.
Oh.
Yeah, but that was an option.
Okay.
Like it was enough of an option to be in like print on the I don't think that's is that really a ticketable offense? I mean, just getting some humping. You're a dog.
If you're a dog, Pat.
You're a dog. Why was your 8-year-old son sent home from daycare?
Yeah.
Drooling humping? Oh my God. If you're a dog, you shouldn't have to be tattled on if you're humping.
Yeah.
No, they shouldn't do that though. They shouldn't do that.
No.
But Jack got in trouble because another dog took his toy and he took it back.
Yeah, I would too.
Right? So he wasn't. Go ahead.
We got this one from Lori, and this is going to go to what Nick and I were saying, and Jill said it wasn't true. She said, oh my God, being the mom of 3 boys, meat cigar is exactly what my 13-year-old would call his penis. LMAO. So see?
I'm sorry. I just didn't think that was a possibility.
Yeah,
that would be.
Yeah.
That would be, why? Well, why?
But why? Why do boys do a lot of the things they do?
No.
Oh my God! Here's another one. There's Barks and Brews.
Barks and Brews. I've heard of Barks and Brews.
Barks and Brews.
I've noticed that Walmart. I've seen a lot of pets in Walmart lately.
I didn't know Walmart was.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
And they were like the ones with vests on, like assistance ones. It was just like there was just a dog in there hanging out in a little toy, whatever, sitting in just sitting there. I didn't think that was the thing you could do, or has COVID changed everything?
Well, there's a lot of places that you actually can. You remember I took Jack to that place when I went to get not the incense or whatever it was that I went to get so we could get rid of the bad spirits in the office. And Jack came in with me to that store, and they were perfectly fine with that. There are a lot of stores where you can. Usually the food stores, I wouldn't even think that would be a thing, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe so.
It was. I guess the least of your issues with cleanliness is a pet at a Walmart. Everything else is like, that's the least of your problems.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Did you have any others you wanted to throw in right now? I've got a couple too.
No, go right ahead. All
right. I'm going to grab, first off, this one is from Angela, and it was on Facebook. And she posted a thing about Falling Water, which is a show on Netflix.
Okay, never heard of it.
And I've never heard of it. It was came out in 2016. And I don't know, it's been canceled since, but I think she's in season 2 right now. She says it just gets weirder, but it's good. So I had to look it up. And I'm not opposed to, if something's been canceled, I'm not opposed to watching it. Because I went back and watched, was it Firefly? Because everybody was talking about that all the time, and now I see why they're pissed off.
Okay.
Because I wish they would have kept going. But this is three strangers.
Knowingly going into something that you know pissed everybody else off and you have no knowledge of it, and you're just like, is that masochist or sadist? You know you're going to get hurt at the end.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to be pissed.
Right.
So I'm going to watch 500 episodes just to be enraged.
Yeah.
Well, I did that with Lost, and it ended, and I was pissed.
Was that show canceled? Lost was canceled?
No.
It came to a natural conclusion, but everybody was pissed off about it.
Okay.
It was an awful conclusion.
Yeah.
They didn't,
Have you seen
And
Dexter?
so that pissed me.
I love Dexter.
Oh, hell yes.
So I guess everyone's pissed off about how that ended.
Yeah, and it's coming back.
Yeah, they're redoing the last season.
Yeah, which
like
is
10 years later.
Which is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that show.
One of the writers,
that one and 6 Feet Under. Wasn't that the other one too? Dexter and 6 Feet Under. 6 Feet Under was another one I loved. The same guy, wasn't it?
Yep, same guy. There was one of the head writers for Dexter was from Nebraska, and there's an episode, I think it's not the last season, it's the second to last season, is just called Nebraska. He like drives through, he's going somewhere to kill somebody on the West Coast or whatever, and he drives through Nebraska.
And it's called Nebraska?
It's just called Nebraska.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. little factoid.
Ah, that's a fun
Nice job, Pat.
Thanks.
Look at you being the fact checker.
You fact check. He believes me. He's not even fact checking.
I was fact checking all of Jill's stories. I was like Googling to make
probably
sure.
a good thing to do.
I will fact check this. What Nebraska Dexter episode?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What do you got?
Yeah, season 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Good deal. Good deal.
I'm on my IMDb Pro. I can look at any of their emails.
Really?
Who appeared.
Exactly.
And one of their emails, it's just email the cast.
Yeah.
From
how did you like this?
From 8 years ago.
Yeah. It's a 7.8 on. It's 7.8 on IMDb.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. So this Falling Water. Apparently, it's about three strangers that have realized they're dreaming parts of the same dream, and figuring out how they're connected to each other. Looks like it could be good. I'm going to jump on it. I'm going to give it a try.
Yeah.
Another one from Heather. Pat, where's Frank? Isn't it about time we hear from Pat's dad?
God, yeah. Yeah, he brought that up to me when we saw him last about a week or so ago. Yeah, he's ready. He said his audience needs him. So
his audience,
yeah,
that's funny. I would be interested to meet both your parents.
Yeah, my dad will be in here if I called him now. He'd be here in 4 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll set up a time we can get him in here, and he's a dandy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and my mom's just been beaten down over the years by my brother and I. Yeah.
Right?
Okay. I can believe it.
Yeah, they're
we
awesome.
need the 2021 appearance of Frank.
Right. Okay.
He's been on our show every year since we started.
Mm-hmm.
You realize that, right?
That's right. He has, hasn't he?
Even in radio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he would call us every year at the very least on our birthdays, because our birthdays are the day after each other, and would sing us happy birthday every year on the radio.
Yeah, and he's a fantastic singer. Not really.
Okay.
No.
How do you two still listen to radio ever?
Mm-mm.
No,
I mean sometimes. Like I listen to XM a lot.
Oh, okay. I would almost say that doesn't count.
Yeah. I just don't. I'm not in the car that much though. I'm in the car for like 6 minutes in the morning.
I know what I'm listening to. It's whatever podcast I'm on.
Mm-hmm.
It just where I'm at. I have to say no. Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It is. It's really crazy. It's nuts. Yeah, it is. It really is. I wouldn't expect it, but
no. So occasionally when I get in a car, it's on. But even like when I scroll through stations, it's interesting what stations hit. Or what stations are left. Like it's like a third is Christian music and a third is like I don't know, country farm, super rural older community.
not a
audience.
ton.
not a ton left for like my demographic.
Yeah.
Well, you have to. That's really that's very astute of you, actually, because I do believe that that's been one of the difficulties, and that's why podcasts have become popular for some advertisers too. Is they're trying to reach those people who don't use traditional media, and then they're just not tuning in there. They don't do the appointment listening, appointment watching on television. It's like, you ain't telling me what to do, and you want it, you want to hear it now. So you're just used to having everything on demand.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. That
So-
makes total sense. Yeah, it's the truth. It's when you can get it on the time on your time, you don't have to go out of your way to listen.
Yeah, yeah. I have a question for both you two. You both say to your listeners that like when you miss episodes, it's because you're busy with work, and like we obviously produce a bunch of other podcasts. What are some of those podcasts? Like, what keeps you busy? So like this week, what was like the most fun thing you worked on?
Most fun.
Well, see, our jobs are like completely different because
How so?
Pat's working with several of the network podcasts. I don't really dive into that so deep. I'm more peripheral. I'm just kind of like getting the 30,000 foot view of that, so I know what all is going on. And then I'm working more with like local businesses or clients in that way. Because like this week had a great call this week with the chamber, and some great ways that Hurrdat's going to be working with them and our media company and getting to meet some new businesses and help them maybe start their own podcast. So yeah, it's just a little bit different, really. But yeah, Pat gets to go on the road and go see some of these shows that are recording in different cities.
This week it was just Hollywood Raw like normal. People have heard Dax on here for a long time. Hollywood Raw, and then our Shuli show. Just busy.
Yeah.
Who's coming up on Hollywood Raw, by the way? I think Mark Cuban's one of them, right?
Yeah, next week.
It's Mark Cuban.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then funny. Okay, so we have a department in our company that books guests for helps book guests. But Dax and Adam have so many connections. They can just get people on.
Yeah.
But Adam. We've talked about Adam before. We never had Adam on our podcast, which we should.
We need to.
Adam is an extremely unique human being.
Like, I've never met anyone like Adam.
No, he's unbelievable. And he'll just fire off at the middle of the night a text of a phone number and say, call this person to get him on the show. Like, and have no possibility of ever that person not only answering the call, responding to a text or an email. It's not going to happen. Brad Pitt's not going to respond. Or whatever. Yeah. So the other day, in the middle of the day, he texts me. He's like, I got Kirstie Alley's phone number. Can you call her and get her on the show? And I'm like, or please text her. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Sure, no problem. But so I'm like thinking, it's probably not her. And she's, again, going to be ghosted like the 70,000 other people we've tried. Yeah. I texted her, and she instantly texted right back. And she started talking about, and I know Jill listens to her podcast a little bit, and you kind of had some history on it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what does this mean? She just moved her lemurs to Florida. And she goes, oh my gosh, that's her. She did just move her lemurs to Florida.
She has her lemurs, and then she also has a squirrel that she is trying to rescue. And the squirrel's name is Birdie. And the squirrel was, she found the baby squirrel, and she nursed him back to health. And now the baby squirrel just runs around, just plays like a little kitty cat. It's so cute.
I want
one. So the squirrel moved with her. So Birdie and the lemurs.
The squirrel moved with her.
And she just started a podcast not that long ago. She's fun to listen to. She's very cussy. She's hilarious. She's just like, she's 70. I think she's 70, which doesn't seem right. And she just doesn't give a shit. She's just like, you know what? This is it. Yeah. So here you go. Here's my world.
Well, she'll be super cussy. They record with her on Friday tomorrow. So
awesome.
So she'll be super cussy. So that'll be coming up after Mark Cuban's episode.
That's the thing. I just said, the Hollywood Raw podcast, and Adam, if you don't know, Adam is paparazzi or was paparazzi for several outlets. Well, still is, kind of, isn't he? He's still doing that. Oh, yeah. And he knows everybody in New York. He just knows all the celebrities, and they trust him because he's not a gotcha paparazzi. Yeah.
And he's right, and the relationships are what's important for him. Just last week, ESPN licensed some of his video, Shaq getting into a little small car. Yeah, and that's because he's friends with Shaq.
Yeah. Which is just hilarious.
Yeah, I got 10 million views on ESPN's Instagram.
Really?
Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah. So he's a fascinating dude. He really is. And every time we have him on a phone call, he always looks like he just got done running 10 miles.
Yeah, I just think he's
and you cannot keep his attention.
I'm going to. My little brother lives in New York, and he's getting married at the end of the month, so I'm going to New York for a week to like celebrate that, and it's mainly a vacation, except for an afternoon. I'm going to follow Adam around to create content. And I kind of feel like I signed up to go skydiving. That like, I'm doing it. Like I agreed to do this. I'm a little nervous.
Is he gonna like looking out for you, or are you gonna like to have like tie off on him so he doesn't lose you in New York somewhere?
You're gonna have to tie off on him.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pack running shoes. That's for sure. When we first arranged this, Adam joked that he's like, you have to wear a suit to follow me, and just like the picture of me following someone in a paparazzi in like a tuxedo is funny, but I need to we're meeting with him later today, and we need to have the conversation of like, all right, what exactly are we doing?
What am I getting myself into?
Yeah. Can we add some structure besides like show up on this corner with a camera?
Yeah. Do you need extra insurance?
Right.
To get it covered. That's gonna be fun. Yeah. All right, I got another one for you here. This is from Paula, and loves the podcast, like 3 loves, all capital letters. So thank you, Paula.
Thanks, Paula.
I do have a couple of questions, however. Whatever happened to Verse? The two of you fill my day with laughter. With Verse, it's nonstop. Just wondering. Verse is super busy. It's hard to get him to stand still.
Right. Yeah. Right. He's so
popped
busy.
in a few times. Yeah, he pops in, but it's never when we're recording, and he doesn't have time to stick around.
Yeah.
And hopefully we want to get his podcast back up and running too, because his was doing really well, and he's just so stinking busy. If you haven't been to Paisans, stop in. He's usually behind the bar or back in the kitchen, one of the two. But say hi. But anyway, that's the problem. And trust me, we would love to have him come by because he just kind of takes over when he's on the podcast.
Mm-hmm. What's his podcast called?
It was a Fatletic.
Oh,
and then he was forming Verse. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll get something put together for him because he definitely needs to have an outlet. And then the other one says, the rest of it from Paula says, also Pat, I'm on your Toon Blast team, Rusty Justice.
Sweet.
And it's a blast. Get it? Blast. Toon Blast. Anyway, it says,
Pat just rolled his eyes.
She is definitely on your team. Anyway, it says you just don't talk about it much anymore. Did you get tired of it? It's so addicting.
Oh no, I'm on it. We just won the team tournament last weekend, and we're rolling. I love it. I know that I have a good squad underneath me because I wake up on a Saturday and I'll get up and I'll open it at like 10 or 10:30 to start blasting some tunes. And our team's already had like 600 stars.
What is this?
It's an app called Toon Blast. It's fun.
And there's a team component and competition?
Yeah, you can create a team, and then you can either let anybody in or you can just have up to 50 people. Just have people in, and it's just a game you play on your phone, and you earn stars and you win tournaments. And
hold on.
So is it music related?
No.
Okay.
Toon as in cartoon.
Oh.
Yeah. It's super juvenile, but it's super fun.
Okay.
And I have a team, and then Jill started a team. And I think I'm dominating the whole thing.
JT's nuts.
Yeah,
JT's nuts.
I'm skipping mine out right now. I felt sometimes you just fall into blessings in your life, And when we were in Las Vegas, and we worked with a photographer. His name is Ryan Loco, and we're in the van leaving after a long day, and we're going back to the hotel, and he's in front of me in the van, and I see him blasting tunes, and I almost fell out of my chair.
Oh my!
I'm like,
gosh.
Loco, you blast tunes? He goes, not only do I blast tunes, he's at the highest level you could possibly get, just like my wife is, which is super hot. And so Loco's at the very highest level you can get. And I'm like, dude, listen, I will boot somebody from Rusty Justice. Thank goodness it wasn't Paula. But I'll boot somebody to get you in. So right there in the van, I traded somebody to Atlanta, and I brought in Ryan Loco off the bench. And he's like every week, boom, like 200, 250 stars. Boom. He is a ringer.
Hashtag blessed.
I
love how you started that conversation. As soon as you started the story, I was like, I love this.
I'm a co-leader on mine because I got booted from my own team because I wasn't playing enough. And anyway, they let me back in. But I'm one of 2 players I'm not over level 1,000. I'm one of 2 players that's not.
It's hard to lead hard to lead from behind. You got to.
No. You got to have the strongest wolves always are in the back because they're protecting. The
Really?
strongest wolves are always in the back of the pack. That's
Really?
true.
And that works for
Look it up. Are you fact checking that?
Toon Blast, yeah. Oh yeah, Nick.
I'm lost. I'm lost. I guess you download Toon Blast.
I will boot somebody off my team.
From the back.
I wouldn't go that far yet. Maybe I should start playing and like kind of get some games underneath me before I'm added to your team, because it's obviously very competitive, and I wouldn't want to. Corrupt
well,
the squad.
There's nothing like getting booted, especially when you're booted from your own team.
If you get added to the team, just saying, if you're not performing, you're gone. Whether I see you in office or not.
Okay.
Just saying. So
I don't think I want to join.
Okay.
I think I'll sit this one out. I'm supportive. Don't get me wrong, but
thanks a lot.
Thanks,
yeah,
buddy.
yes, I'm.
Everybody on my team is kicking ass except me.
Yeah.
I'm just hanging out. I'm just like, that's about it. Anyway, she goes on and says, thanks for sharing how I can now spend hours on end trying to get up one more level.
Right.
Keep up the great. And thank you so much, Paula. Appreciate the note. That's awesome.
Thanks,
so,
Paula.
yeah, so
Sweet.
that was fun.
All right.
So there's that.
That was a good
Yeah,
one.
so Nick, thanks, Nick.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Any issues today with anything we said? I mean, everything's pretty spot on.
Everything was spot on.
Okay.
Everything was spot on.
Perfect. All right.
Well,
Well,
except the Toon Blast thing. I'm still unpacking that.
but it'll take you a minute. But once you do,
okay,
you and Emmy will just waste your weekends away.
Oh my gosh.
Blasting tunes.
That could be something.
Yeah.
That could be something. All right.
So that's our episode for